Hello and welcome to Papicock Podcast with your host, Victor Pacheco. We got a very special episode today with a very special guest, my friend, Mr. Franco Harris.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? How's it going? What's up?
Yeah, man. Nothing much, man. How you doing today?
Good. I'm just sick of people putting spinach and cheese in empanadas. It's really upsetting me.
Fuck is putting spinach and cheese in empanadas?
Listen, the last 2 days, I saw an empanada and I was like, I'm gonna eat that. And then I bit into it and it had spinach and cheese in it. Now, this is white people are doing this. And you gotta stop. I've never been to a Hispanic restaurant or a Latin restaurant.
Yeah.
And when I order an empanada, they go, do you want spinach or cheese? They go, meat or chicken. That's it. There's no other option. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand why people are doing this to me, but it's really upsetting and it has to stop. Like, let's just not, it's not for you, vegetarian. It's not for you, okay? It's not for you. It's not. I'm sorry. It's bullshit. Fucking sick of it, dude. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm over this shit. But I'm doing good. Anyways, aside from them putting spinach and cheese in the
oh my God, man. Talk about culture appropriation, man. That's the worst case I've heard. It's like, that's not even Americanizing a meal. That's like fucking up a meal and making something different that you're trying to pass off as Latino cuisine, and there's not even a single fucking Mexican in the restaurant to speak of, and you're just like, get the fuck out of there. You don't see one Latino eating at a Latino restaurant, it's a bad sign. It's horrible.
It's ridiculous. It's like my friend used to say, if I walk in to a Mexican place and there's not a child at the cash register and the mom cooking, I walk out. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. I want to see a kid in the corner doing his homework, the daughter behind the register, and the mom just sitting back there waiting for a fucking order, okay? That's how I know that shit's going to be good. I want to see child labor laws being broken, okay, in this establishment, okay, before I step in there and eat, all right? Yeah, it's got to be delicious. That's the only way. That's the only way it's going to be delicious.
Dude, that's so spot on. Because then you go to these like really, really like authentic Mexican restaurants. And then you have like your waiter who's a 9-year-old Mexican boy. And you're just like, holy shit, this food's about to be bomb.com. It's going to be
the food's going to be amazing.
World. Yeah, it's going to be great.
If there's a little kid there, at the register running around, shit's going to be fire. Okay, it's going to be fire.
And then it's going to be extra fire if those kids are being yelled at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if those kids are getting yelled at, it's like, they're in a pissed off mood. They're adding emotion to it. I don't know. It's like I always say, with the restaurant, I mean, like with the Mexican restaurants, if all that stuff isn't happening, you walk the fuck out. But like with me, I'm a fat guy, so I love donut shops. So like with me, like here's the best way to fucking find out if you're at a fucking good donut shop. There's 3 conditions. Number 1, it's got to be open 24 hours. Number 2, it's got to be Chinese owned and operated. And rule number 3, that Chinese motherfucker's got to be the rudest fucking person you ever met in your fucking life, because those donuts are so fucking good. They don't even need to have good customer service. So that's how you figure out what the best donut shop place. I figured it out. Like I was just like, hey, if it's open 24 hours and there's a Chinese dude running it and there's a kid in the back, it's 3:00 in the morning. That kid's just like reading a book, but he's like asleep and he just fell asleep. Like what the fuck? This is
gonna be good.
This is the best cronut I've ever had in my life. And have you had a cronut? Cronuts are, oh my God, they're like disgustingly addictive. They're like, it's a churro donut.
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
The best.
And then I've seen these I was about to say, I've seen these fuckers. No, say
it the way it's supposed to be said.
I've seen these fuckers put the vanilla ice cream into this and make it to an abomination. It is the best croissant donut you have, and then they fuck it all up with the ice cream. I don't even know what accent that was. That was just me being pissed off.
You just mixed. There was what's it called?
Like fake Italian.
Not the gypsy. Armenian there. There was like Armenian in there. Sorry, I don't mean to say gypsy. Armenian. Armenian.
You just alienated my whole gypsy population here of audience. And you know what? They're not coming to my shows anymore. Thanks a lot. Speaking of coming to shows, I've met this incredible man under incredible circumstances because
that's so sweet of you.
Because
not that great.
Get the fuck out. This is how you know. Okay, this is how you know Franco is a very humble man. Because the first time I met him, I wasn't supposed to meet him because it was one of those like I'm like, hey, I'm not booked tonight. I like, it's like really like I don't know what the fuck's going on with my comedy career. And then I get a call from the San Jose Improv. They're like, hey, do you want to host this show tonight? Didn't even look to see what it was. I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. Absolutely. They're looking for a host, it's this trio and they got this like this stoner drunk show and I'm like, and you called me to host it? Fuck yeah, I'm down. Fuck yeah, people. This is my people and I didn't even met you all. I just took a screen grab. I'm like, I'm gonna be at the Improv tonight. And then when I got there, because here's the thing with stand-up, when you meet other stand-ups, they're either the nicest people you ever met or they don't want to fucking know you and they treat you like shit sometimes. But like with you guys were all sweethearts, especially you were like so nice. You were headlining the show and you were just like for how funny you are, you should be a dick. And
some people, I will say some people are going to hear this and be like, humble. What are you talking about? Humble. They're gonna be like, "What? He's not humble."
Get the fuck out of here. No. You might be confident with your shit. You might be confident with your ability, with your talent, with your skill level, and that's not. And people misinterpret that arrogant, and that's not the same shit. And that isn't the man I fell in love with.
Yeah, I will say, like, when it comes to like when you're going out of town and you're meeting other comics and stuff like that. Like I would say, I guess in the local open mic scene, like I guess like if people knew me before, like they've been like, oh, like he acts like he knows it all or whatever. Like that's just honest opinions and stuff like that. Like I'm a big fan of comedy. Like I'm a big fan of the art form. I'm a big fan. I was a huge like when I started doing comedy, I didn't listen to music for like 3 years, like 3.5 years, because all I listened to was like podcasts and like gathering information and all this stuff just to become a better comic, because like we have these opportunities today that other comics didn't have. Like Chris Rock, you'd hear him say that like he's like, yeah, I got passed at the first time he got passed, like first time he did stand up, he got passed. And I forgot, it was Catch a Rising Star, right? I Catch a Rising Star. And he goes like, I would sit there from like 8 o'clock before the show started and put out seats and stuff like that. And then I'd watch all the comics all night. That was his YouTube. There was no other opportunity. You would have to wait for like late night shows or a special to come out and like a movie like Eddie Murphy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like at that time, like you'd have to listen to a record, but even then you couldn't watch it unless you were in the room. So if you were 16, 17 years old, you would have to have seen it on late night for 5 minutes, when somebody doing a spot and stuff like that. And it's like, we have these opportunities to like watch comedy all day and watch professional comedians. Like even before we started, I was watching this kid on Don't Tell Comedy on their YouTube. And I just watched like 5 minutes of his set, and it was really funny. And like, you can learn so much and so much quicker today than I think before. And like, I used to love just sharing the knowledge that like, cause I'm excited, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're learning something, it says that like when you talk about it, it's how you retain it the best. So it's like I would go around comics and be like, oh, did you hear this podcast? Did you hear this? Did you hear this? And like ear beating the shit out of other comedians.
Because you're passionate. You're passionate. You love listening.
I love this shit.
And you love sharing it. You're like you got a heart on for comedy. And I love that. Yeah. And it's just like, and I can tell that because like also though too, you were too cool for school in that. Like it's just like you're like you didn't say it, but like you pretty much were like you do your thing, baby. You do your thing, baby. I know you're gonna do a good job. They hired you from the club. You're gonna do a good job. Just do your best. Don't worry about it. We'll have fun. We'll have fun. And you know what's that funny? Took so much pressure off. So much pressure off because I wanted you guys to like me. I wanted you guys to. I also. But above all that, I want to do a good job. I want to make sure the club hires me again. I want to make sure that when you guys go back to wherever you guys go back or wherever you guys go to your next gig, you guys aren't all like, hey, that host, he was really like, friendly in the green room, but God, he sucked on stage. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, for me, it's like, I want to prevent that conversation from happening. I'm doing everything possible to make sure that like, it's a great show. Everybody gets the proper introduction to, reflect the rock stars that we all are, because everybody on that show did great. You guys have a great fucking fan base. I was like, how the fuck did you guys get this many people out on a Sunday? That's, by the way, and that's not a backhanded compliment. So I like legitimately, and like I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but that was one of the best Sundays I've ever had. I've ever hosted, I've ever fucking been a part of, I've ever fucking, dude, that didn't feel like a fucking Sunday show. And that was a Sunday show. There was like fucking 300 motherfuckers in there on a Sunday, Sunday, mind you. Right before COVID, it fucking on my mom's birthday, December 8th, 2019, Sunday. I skipped cheesecake to be with you, dude, because I was like, you know what, Mom, I love you, but you ain't booking me at the Improv, so I gotta go.
I remember, you know what's so funny? What's so funny? We had just come from hanging out with Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters in Vegas. Like, we drove from Vegas all the way to San Jose, dude. And we did a show because we were gonna go hang out with the Foo Fighters anyways and hang out with them. But then we were like, well, let's do a show. We're out on the West Coast. And then Tim was like, let's do San Jose. And then I'm like, it's a 9-hour drive. And we were like, fuck it, let's do it. And then we ended up riding out there after, and then we flew back home, but back to Florida and stuff like that. But it's been an interesting, I'm 9 years into stand-up, and 9 years August 1st. And when I met you, that was 3 years ago. So I was 6 years into stand-up, less than 6 years, about 5.5 years, 6 years in.
Yeah.
And the opportunity that we had and that we created and stuff and kind of manifested, it's kind of weird because I always, in this business, and I've always told people this in this business, in my opinion and what I've experienced myself, is that you have to get picked in this business, whether it's by a manager, by an agent, by a booker, by name it. You got to get picked, which that means that you have to be liked, you have to be cool. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Is not just being funny.
Right.
And funny is just the standard. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, funny Absolutely. Is just, once you get to where you're doing comedy clubs like that level and you're known by bookers around the country and stuff like that, everybody's funny.
Yeah.
For 45 minutes, everybody's funny. Everybody's funny for 45 minutes to an hour. Name a headliner. It doesn't matter. If they're hired by the club, everyone has a bad night, blah, 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 an off night, blah, blah, the crowd sucks, blah, blah. There's all that.
Yeah.
But they know how to kill for 45 minutes to an hour, which allows the clubs to sell food and drinks.
Dude.
That's your job. Your job is to buy time. That's why the most important thing in comedy is do your fucking time. Bombing or not, if someone paid you, do your time. Exactly to the T. Don't go over, don't go under, do it exactly to the T, because as the guy that's waiting in the room to go on, I know exactly how much time I have to have a drink, to poop, to pee, to hang out, to talk shit, to get in the zone, put my headphones on, whatever. I need to know that exact time. Right. And if you get off early, you threw me off. But it's important. It's important. And for me, when I started doing stand-up, I was 3.5 years into stand-up, and I was like, this sucks. I don't like that. I don't like not having control.
Franco, the most honest comedian I know. Most comics want to admit how much it sucks. God, it's but you love it, so you can say it sucks.
No, it sucks. It sucks. The how to make it. You know what I mean? How to make it sucks. It's when you hear a story, it's well, so and so saw me he thought I was funny and blah, blah, blah. And it's like all these factors. And I'm just like, but how do you get better and get to that point a little bit quicker? Like, how can we get there? You know, and everyone says stage time is everything, stage time is everything, stage time is everything. But what if you're not getting stage time, then you're not going to get better? But then there's this thing, it's like, you've got to get better to get more stage time. So you're stuck in this weird place where you're learning something that we're like, it's kind of like, it kind of sucks. It hurts. Like, it hurts. You don't know how many times I cried from an open mic and I went home crying in my car because all I wanted to do was be funny. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be funny. I wanted to be one of the guys that people respected in the scene and all that stuff. And like, and what's funny is that I never really got that until like before I left Florida. So I never really experienced it because until I came back touring as Fresh Drunk Stoned with my buddies and stuff like that. But that was kind of what started the idea of that. Like, okay, it seems like the way a lot of people make it is by getting picked. I don't like that. Because I'm a control freak. Especially Hispanics. We grew up in like this weird culture and stuff like that where you have no control of what's happening and you're just told what to do with no reasoning. And then you take bad advice, you take good advice, and then shit happens in your life and you go, what the fuck? And you're like, and like, so we live in this culture where it's like, we live 20, 30 years behind with our family and then also live in progressive America. And we're like, yes. Well, if I listened to you, I would be a manager in a restaurant because that's what we came to this country for, is for prospering and be better lives and have a career, have a nice car and all this stuff. And I decided to do comedy. And be like, no, let me try to figure this how to be funny on stage. You know what I mean? So,
dude, I just had this conversation with my immigrant mom and my immigrant dad. It's just like, you know, I'm talking to them about like, you know, what I'm doing right now with like, because like, you know, you try to like, my parents came here from Mexico for better opportunities, better life, to make more money, to live the American dream. And like, you know, unfortunately, their youngest son, who's me, my American dream is to be an entertainer. So, you know, for them, it's just like the first time I made money doing stand-up, my mom thought that I was prostituting myself out to get that money. She didn't believe that somebody paid me to go out and, you know, perform stand-up and get compensated with that financially. And so when like my mom's like, mijo, are you selling your body? And I looked at my mom right in the eye and I was like, Mom, who would pay to fuck me? Like, come on, Mom.
You're like relax. Like I know that I'm your baby and you think I'm the most beautiful thing in the world, but you know, like, I know. I've been outside and I know it doesn't like. No, but you know what's funny? It's hard. It's hard being like a first generation immigrant and like coming to this country and then trying to justify that like, hey, this is gonna pay off one day. Oh, right. All the time that you spend away from your family and hanging out and all the shit, it's gonna pay off one day. And it's like, for them, it's like, I've said this on stage. I've literally said this where I'm like, look at all of you in this room. I was like, if I called my father right now and showed him this, he'd go, that's nice. But what is the manager in that restaurant, in that club making? Probably makes a good salary, as benefits and all this stuff. My dad would rather see me as the manager of this place than the person that's on stage. And the audience doesn't understand that because you can hear that they're like, what do you mean? Like you can feel in the room that they're like, what? They're like, hell no, you're crushing it. And I'm just like, right. You don't understand. You don't understand that like getting a win in comedy means nothing to them because it doesn't translate into something that we can give them. You know what I'm saying? Something that we can show them. They're gonna be like, look, we're well off. We're doing all right. You know what I mean?
I have to laugh because if I don't, I will cry right now because that statement resonates so hard with me because like even last week, I had one of the most productive weeks I've had in my life. Super productive.
You couldn't tell anybody. You couldn't tell anybody.
I mean, no one gave a shit. And it was like, okay, how much money did you bring in from all your efforts? It's like, okay, shut the fuck up. Because it's not always about money. This is about building.
Baby.
How much you're getting paid for that gig? Shut the fuck up. That's not the point.
Yeah.
It's about my art. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it is important. It is important to get fucking higher paying gigs than just these fucking like tip bucket shows where it hurts the producer to give you $10. It's like, motherfucker, I just spent that much on bridge. Suck my dick. Give me more fucking what the fuck?
And that's where I kind of believe that, like, what Fresh Drunk Stone started as was just, that's why I believe this. Like, I believe in, like, it's not that I wasn't getting stage time. It's not that I wasn't getting opportunities. I'm funny. I was funny as an open micer. I was good enough. I left Florida before I moved to Chicago and like top 10 finalists in the Florida's Funniest Comedian for the whole state of Florida.
Nice.
And at 3.5 years in, I'll take that shit. But you know, something that I remember that's super interesting, you maybe have different feelings and stuff like that about like comedy and stuff like that. Because like for me, it's a psychological thing. And like I'm in therapy for all this shit. I'm trying to figure this shit out because I feel like my core beliefs will stop me from achieving my true goals and what I want. Because like how I was raised, it's like, why are you doing that? Why? You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't say I'm proud of you. They don't say congratulations. They don't say it's George Lopez's first hour. Okay, if you want to understand how we were raised, go watch George Lopez's first hour, and that's how it's like to be in a Hispanic family, in a Latin family, where it's like we came here, like they want to see you working hard, and they're up there watching you tell jokes and a drink in your hand, smoking weed, and they're like, but he needs to work hard. It's like, I do work hard, but it's a different work. You know what I'm saying? Like I work different. I'm working up here. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I can't show you like my wins until you see me in front of people. And I'll tell you this, for me, a really proud moment, like I tell a joke about my dad and saying how he's like never really told me that he's proud of me. You know what I mean? And like how in life, like what drives you a lot of times is to make your parents proud. You know what I mean? And like, and that's when I explained it. I'm like, my dad could look at this room right now and he'd be like, God, I'd rather you be the manager. And it's true. You know what I mean? Like until they see something amazing. And like, I remember I brought my father to the New York Comedy Club in the East Village. And him and his friends were like 30% of the audience. So it was like 40, 50 people in the New York Comedy Club. It was nice, whatever. I didn't have a great set, you know what I mean? And I told the story about him in the audience or whatever, right? And I pointed him out. I'm like, he's actually right here. Look at him. He's right there. I'm gonna tell the story. And like, it's where I asked my father, I'm like, do you think you've been a good father? And there's a joke there, but it's a very serious moment.
Yeah.
But I said, like, Dad, do you think you've been a good father? And I tell that joke. And after the show, you know, my dad walks up to me and he says to me in English, which he doesn't speak English well, he goes, I'm proud of you. And I go, oh, I was like, he couldn't even say it in Spanish, but he just heard what I said on stage and was like, he needs to hear this, which was fine, right? And I took that as a win. That's
definitely a win. Absolutely. I'm proud of, I mean, fucking shit. I mean, a Latin dad saying that. It's like, no, I told my dad, viejo te quiero mucho, which is Spanish for, hey, old man, I care about you a lot. And he's like, it was pretty much like, I like made a gay pass at him. He's like, I gotta go. And I'm like, motherfucker, you don't gotta, I'm not like, and tell me you love me. But like at the same time, it's just like, you know, like he did tell me that he was like proud of me for doing like big shows where like I'm actually performing and like, because the San Jose Improv is like a small theater, you know, and
it means a lot. Like it means a lot for them to see that. And like, you know, even for your father to be like, yo, you performed in front of 300 people. At that point, the money doesn't matter. It's like, wow, you did. I would never do that. And that's what most people say when you tell them you're a stand-up. They can't. I would never get on stage.
They can't do it, man. Even if they tried, even if they wanted to. It's like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that's stupid. You know why it's stupid? You can't do it. And it's just like, and with being funny or being like, you know, like even before you were a stand-up comedian, even before you attempted comedy and you were at the parties and you were the life of the party and people would gravitate towards you like you're a celebrity and you're holding court and it ain't even your fucking house. You don't even know whose house it is. It's like your girlfriend's friend's boyfriend's house and you're fucking holding court and everyone's just like, oh shit, oh, what's going on? Are you a stand-up comedian? It's like, no. At the time it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't actively pursuing it or anything, but I was just like, dude, I just fucking got I'm holding court for all these white people that would normally never talk to me. So it was just like, and it wasn't just that they were white. It was like one of those like housewarming parties where everybody's rich and they're trying to like outdo each other with the presents. And I'm just like, hey,
you know what the best is?
I brought the best
is when you're a comic already.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know how to tell a story.
Yeah.
And you hear somebody at like a party, you know, telling a story, and you just go, I'm just gonna wait for you to finish. And then you're holding that grenade in your hand, and you're just like, dude. Anyway, so and then you start, and you're just like, bah, 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 like, you know, shit like that. You're just like, oh shit, like.
Dude, I never look at it as a competition. I always look at it as a friendly banter. And so, like,
no.
I know what you're saying.
Like,
I
you know, we have like a superpower. We have like a little superpower. We're like, you're like, oh, you think Jim is funny? Just give me 1 second. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on. Let Jim finish. Oh, and he dropped the plates. All right. Anyways.
Yeah. It's like, yeah,
but I don't see it as a competition. I just see it as that, like, you have the way I act in like public and stuff like that when I'm around non-comedians.
Yeah.
This is your stage. I have my stage.
Right.
I get to go and get my attention when I want to. I'm not going to stand on a table at a bar and fist pump with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or stand on a soapbox. You're right. You're going to stand on a real stage.
Yeah. I'm going to stand in the corner and watch because I'm a comic.
Right.
I like to observe. I'm a comic at the end of the day. I can't be experiencing it and then also be observing it, you know? So like for me, one of my favorite moments was here at the Dania Improv, which is like 10 minutes away from where I grew up and like where I live. And this past year, they opened up the Dania Beach Improv. And in October last year, it was my first show there, headlining by myself. Nice. You know, because I've been by myself for the last 2 years.
Congratulations on the headlining spot. That's fucking awesome. That's really fucking awesome. You deserve it, man. You were funny in 2019, and I don't see you have digressed in stand-up.
Well, you know what's so funny? Yeah, you know what's so funny is like back then, I was already technically headlining. Like I was following the two people that taught me how to be a comedian, like Matt and Tim. And these guys were monsters.
Chemistry. Great. And they were monsters. Dude, it was
dude, they were monsters. They're not were, they still are.
Oh, I meant they were that night. When we were all together, it was chemistry.
No.
People came up to me. They were like, because you all toured together. I was just the host that night. But people were coming up to me and they were like, hey, so you all toured together. Where's your guys' next spot? I'm like, oh, actually, their next spot is I don't know where, but they're.
And what's so funny is that, you know, it's funny. I'll tell you the story behind that, how we started touring together. We were the three guys at an open mic that when the open mic ended at 10, 11 o'clock, we were in the parking lot at 3 in the morning talking shop. The three of us. So the three of us to ironically end up as really best friends and going on the road together, it was almost like perfect. Like it was almost like it was meant to be because like we were those guys. Like, and in comedy, I feel that greatness gravitates towards greatness, or like, and not in general, in like life. Like, how does Mark Twain get to hang out with Albert Einstein? You know what I mean? Like why are they best friends if they're in two completely different fields? Because greatness is greatness, dude. Like they understand what it takes to get there. Michael Phelps could talk to Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they know what it's like to be at the top of their fucking class and what it takes to get there and the dedication and all that stuff, you know? And so I think there's something to be said that like when you're in comedy, you know what I mean? And you're doing really well, the great comedians in that community will gravitate towards you and you end up becoming friends with them and stuff like that because funny loves funny. You know what I mean? And so and as long as you're a nice guy, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? As long as you're passionate about this shit. And like, I've always loved this stuff, you know? And I loved, you know, the whole art of it. And like, that's how I met Matt. I went to his open mic and the first time on stage, he beelined towards me as I came outside and he goes, hey, I can tell you really like this shit. Like you're really passionate, like when you're on stage, you know? And it was like, I was 2 months in, 3 months in. And he's like, and then we became best friends. Like after that, you know, like, and it's one of those things where like, I'm gonna tell you the story about my dad, or like in Dania to finish the story about my dad and Proud and stuff like that. My dad never really told me he's Proud. So that New York thing happened. And that was really dope. And then just a year ago, like I said, less than a year ago in October, I headlined the Dania Beach Improv. It's a big deal for me. And my father comes with my cousin and my little brother. And it was 300 people. I fucking did a great job. You know what I mean? I murdered. My dad never seen me. Last time he saw me was in front of 40 people, and I wasn't that good. You know what I mean? And like now he saw me in front of
headlining.
Yeah. He saw me in front of 300 people. Yeah, killing.
Nice.
And he was really proud of me. And like the best thing that I heard wasn't even from him. It was from my brother, my little brother, saying that he came home that night and he couldn't stop being like, wow, like that's my son. Like I saw him just fucking manhandle those people. And like that, like hearing it secondhand and knowing that my dad feels that way about me, and that finally like I showed him that like what I've been doing for the last 8 years has led to this right here that you're watching right now. And it meant a lot to me, you know. And like that's why, like, if you have kids, like tell them that you're proud of them, you fucks. Tell them that they're fucking good people. Okay.
Yes.
Tell them that they're gonna be great and that they can do anything that they want. You fucking pieces of shit. Like I don't have the perspective of a parent, but I'll tell you from a child, do that shit.
Dude.
Hug your kids. Tell them you love them every once in a while.
Okay.
Just because your parents didn't do that shit doesn't mean you can do it to your kids, you fucking asshole.
Okay.
It's so stupid.
I gotta play devil's
dumb.
advocate right here just for the sake of fucking argument. Hey, these fucking immigrant parents, they know no fucking love. They're just fucking survivors. That's
you know what's funny?
You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right, so there's no love. It's just survival. And also, mijo, don't do that. You're gonna embarrass yourself. You're gonna embarrass the family, mijo. Mijo.
They don't want you to break away from the tribe. That's all tribal instincts. It's like they don't want you to be.
That's change. Change is scary. Change is. I don't give a fuck who you are. It's not that you're better than everybody. It's what you're doing statistically. You're not going to make it statistically. And you're funny and you're talented. And there's still a good chance you're not going to make it. There's still a good chance. And you know what? In my mind, like you made it. I've made it in terms of fucking doing what the fuck we set out to do. And to be honest with you, everything else is just icing on the cake. Of course, household names. Of course, like, you know, having our own sitcoms. And like, you know, it's like everybody loves Raymond and King of Queens, and you and me have our own sitcoms, and we all guest star on each other's sitcom, and you know it's fun, and it's a good. The Franco Harris show, the Victor Pacheco show, and then I'm on your show, I'm on the Franco Harris show. Sometimes you're just like, woo, and it's just, you know, it's just like, but what's funny is fuck though. You're putting in the work, I'm putting in the work, and then like sometimes you go to open mics, and these fucks that can't even fucking write a fucking 1 minute joke or 1 minute premise are like, when I get famous, I'm like, dog, why don't you fucking worry about right now with the 3 minutes that you're getting? After a minute, you're just like, so what do you guys want to talk about? And I'm like, why don't you talk about something funny?
And like, you know what's funny is that it depends on where you're at. You know what I mean? Like, if you were to see me at an open mic, you would go, this guy doesn't deserve to be at the Improv. But in reality,
that's not
no.
But some people do think that way. Some people do think that way.
No,
I agree that some people, and that's fucked up.
Perfectly fine. No. You know why? It's like a part of it is that, like, you know what's funny? I came back to Florida, and there's this whole new scene down here. I was gone for a few years, and there's all these new comics, and they don't know where I've been and what I've done because they didn't see it. They didn't see me from me hanging out with them to touring clubs. Right. You know what I mean? Like they're seeing me hanging out with them
and packing out those clubs. You're packing out, selling out those clubs. Like I said, that was one of the best Sundays. It didn't feel like a Sunday show. I'm gonna bring that up 10 more times before this episode's over. And like, because I swear to God, that was honestly like really like, dude, as far as fucking, and also the thing that was super impressive, you guys were all on tour. You guys are traveling around the country. You guys aren't big. You guys aren't, hold on. You guys are best friends. You guys aren't based in California. And you guys, like, dude, they opened the top tier. And people were, like, sitting in the top tier. So, like, dude, I wasn't nervous. Trust me, I wasn't nervous about doing a good job if I was funny. I was like, fuck. I hope I don't do
Who are these guys?
No. Well, I mean, there was a lot of feelings. It wasn't just like, no, but also, you guys were all such sweethearts and also nice, and nobody had a fucking ego. Nobody was like,
I'll tell you why.
It here. It was funny. No, you all treated me like an equal, and it was a triple headliner show. And even though I was hosting, you guys still treated me like a headliner. That's what was cool as fuck.
At the end of the day, it's like you're a comic, I'm a comic, you know what I mean? Like, don't be weird, just be fucking cool. You came in, you offered us weed, and we're like, yeah, let's smoke some weed. And we're upstairs in the dope ass green room smoking weed, and I'm sitting there videotaping us and shit like that with like my little gimbal and shit. And it's like, no, it was fun, but like at the end of the day, you know what's really funny? As much as like you saw it the way you saw it, what you saw at that time was 3 open micers learning how to become headliners. And learning
great though. It didn't like nobody saw that. Nobody saw that, including me. It was fun. And then what threw me off because you told me how long you've been doing stand-up at the time, and I was all like, that's fucking cool. I like that because we're talking about single digits and you're headlining the Improv. And it don't matter if it's on a Sunday. That shit's like a fucking like, oh, you're headlining the weekend, motherfucker. Sunday is the weekend. Suck my dick.
If there's any advice that I could impart that came to me, there's a couple of great things that happened to me that made me get on this journey of like being like, I'm not gonna wait around and for somebody to pick me, because the odds of that happening, the odds are stacked against you all the time, no matter what. So let's try to create better odds. And like my whole plan was that like, it's like, yo, let's go out there, get some stage time. Doesn't matter where the fuck it is. And if we can do a club, we can do a club. And the thing is that if you're like a feature or a host at a regular host at your local club, you're a hop, skip, and a jump from doing what we did. Because you can grab a couple of your funny friends that are feature acts too. And you go to the club and you go, yo, can you give us an off night? You know what I mean? And like, if you can pack it out, whether it's free tickets or paid tickets, here's the best advice that I can give to anybody. Okay. These comedy clubs, all right. And they're going to hate that I'm going to say this. Okay. And I only say this in private, but I'll tell it to you right now because everybody should know this shit. Everybody should know this shit. Okay. Learn how to market a fucking show. There is no more handing out flyers, putting a flyer in the bathroom. When's the last time that you went to a bathroom and you saw a flyer for a band or a comedy show and you went, you know what? I'm gonna come back. No,
never.
Shut the fuck up.
Never.
No,
it never happened. I never happened. That's what was impressive.
It's never happened.
That's what was impressive.
You're wasting your valuable time on shit that doesn't matter. Oh, I want to put a flyer with my face on it and my other comedian buddies. Let me tell you a little secret. No one cares about you unless you're famous. And how do you get famous? It's only a few ways, baby. There's only a few. So, but what's the caveat in that? What I've learned in my life is give me my no's. Tell me where you're telling me no. And in between those no's, there's yeses. And this is what we figured out. Okay. There used to be this show in Fort Lauderdale at the Fort Lauderdale Hard Rock Improv. It's closed down now. It's now the Dania Beach Improv. And so there used to be a show on Thursday called Laugh Out Loud Marvin Dixon when I first started doing stand-up 8-9 years ago. And on a Thursday night, there would be 400 people lined up outside.
Holy
and
shit.
Gilbert Gottfried, rest in peace, if Gilbert Gottfried could be doing the early show at 8 p.m., okay? At 8 p.m. He'd be doing the early show at 8 p.m. 150 people on a Thursday night. When Gilbert Gottfried walks outside, there's 400 people waiting for a late night show for a local dude. That his name, well, he was local in the sense that he lived here and he had BT Comic View credits and stuff like that. Like this was like 10 years ago. So people knew him. People knew him in South Florida. Marvin Dixon used to be on the radio down here and stuff like that. Really funny comedian.
Nice.
To the point where like I one day was there on a Thursday night doing open mic or some shit or watching a show at 8 o'clock. And I walked outside and I went, what the fuck is going on? And I remember I waited for the show to get packed and I walked in there to see what it was like. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. It was the wildest, craziest show I've ever seen. And it was funny as fuck. And I was like, wow, what is happening here? So what happened was that me and Matt Bellick used to work at the corporate offices at the Improv. Okay. Knowledge is fucking everything. Don't negate when someone tells you something or you know somebody and shit like that, because you don't know what it can help you in the future. So we start touring, right? We start touring, and this is what we realized, okay? I'm going to tell you this right now. The comedy club websites, for them to purchase a ticket, you have to fill out 18 fields of information, okay? So when we go to do our first tour run, we do a bunch of local bar shows throughout the week, and we end at the West Palm Beach Improv on a Sunday. We had told our friends and family, all of our friends and family, we're touring now. We're coming back into town from Chicago and LA. Come and watch us, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's excited. This is how people fill up shows when they leave town and they come back and stuff like that. Oh, look, they're in LA. They're in New York now. They're in Chicago. And then they go back to a small town and everybody comes out to see them. So we did that, right? And they came out. We had great shows throughout the week. We go to that show. 131 people show up. We had given them a promo code that discounted the tickets to $0, so that their tickets are free. Now, what am I telling you right now, Victor? What am I telling you right now with the information that you just heard? That they're going to the Improv website, discounting a ticket. What does that let you know right now? That the comedy club does not care if it is a paid ticket or a free ticket. All they care is about an ass in the fucking seat. Okay, that's all they care about. Because why? When you sit there, you're going to learn something very important, something that they love to hear, which is this word, these three letters, PPA. You know what a PPA is? It's your price per attendee. Now, let's do a little bit of math. The average PPA in the country, around the country, is $21. $21. So if 350 people show up at the Improv on a free ticket, 350 people show up, right? 350 at 31. I'm going to do the math for you right now on my phone. At 21, they made $7,350 in 3 hours of being open, from the doors open to end of show. Okay? They want a 90-minute show. Why do they want a 90-minute show? Because that's the time it takes to sell drinks and get those people checked out. What is the last call? The last 30 minutes? You get the leg. That's when the checks, what comics hate is called check drop. All right. They love check drop. You do 90 minutes exactly. The less time you do on that stage, you could do an 80-minute show and they'll be happy. Because less people on the clock. We make more money, same amount of money, less people on the clock. Thank you, okay? So listen, 131 people show up to our show. 120 of them are our friends and family, and they walked up to us outside of the box office and said, where do we get our tickets? Our own friends and family did not go to their website to fill out 18 fields with the promo code to discount it. They waited till the day of the show. Right there, Franco went, that's a fucking problem. Why is that taking so long? Why didn't they do that? I started asking these questions. Why didn't they do that? By the way, 131 people on a Sunday night at the Palm Beach Improv. The owner, Renee Hart, who is known all over the country, has been in the business for 40 years, okay, well, walked into the green room and said, I am so fucking proud of you. I was in tears because I thought we failed, because it wasn't enough people. Crying while I was about to go on stage, while the host is on stage. And then she comes into the green room and goes, I am so proud of you guys. 131 people, fucking amazing. And I looked at her and she's like, why the fuck are you crying? And I'm like, I don't know. Oh, it's such a great show. And she's like, you guys did amazing. And then I had to walk on stage and do fucking 20 minutes and shit like that while I was just wiping tears off my fucking eyes and stuff. And so I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Fucking A.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Sorry about that. No, holy shit. Sorry about that. Man, that's dude, I mean, because what you feel is a fucking failure and like somebody's the owners applauding you is just like, that's like, it's so fucked up because like there's times where like you walk off stage because you want to hit a 10 out of 10 on every single aspect, like on the setup, the punchline, the premise, setup, punchline. You want to hit a 10 out of 10 on every single part of it, and if you hit a 9 on just one part, it fucks that fucking whole 10 up. So you'll walk off stage and you'll feel like shit. You feel like you just bombed. And people will come up to you and be like, you did such a great job. And I'm just like, go fuck yourself. I mean, that's what you're thinking. You don't want to say that. Or you're just like, hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for supporting my
listen, if I can give any advice, about the PPA, about anything. So what does this let you know? I'll give you an example. When Bill Burr comes to the West Palm Beach Improv and he goes 600 seats, right? It seats 525. He does probably like 550, 600, right? They throw in extra seats in there, shit like that. He charges $50 a ticket, and the club gets zero of that money. But you know what they're guaranteeing? Look at this. So you think the people that are coming up that are paying $50 to come watch Bill Burr are not going to spend $150 on fucking food and beverages? Yes, they are, because we came to see Bill Burr. Okay. And we're balling. This is a special event because it's at a comedy club and I'm not going to a theater. So I'm balling out. Right. So let's just say the average PPA, the $21 off of 525 people that see at the Palm Beach Improv, they made $11,000. Okay. $11,000. All right. So, and he does 4 shows. They're probably going to make more than that. So at 525, let's say the PPA is $41 because they're balling. They made $21,000. Okay. So what does that tell you? If Bill Burr does 4 shows, they made $100,000, and it cost them zero in promoting, zero. They just had to turn on the lights. The tickets sold themselves. They just posted it and said, Bill Burr's coming. Okay. So what happens? What does that tell you? What do they care about? They care about food and beverage sales. That's why there's a 2-drink minimum. Absolutely. How much is the average drink at an Improv? I'll tell you right now, it's $12.
I was just gonna say 12 or $14, right?
Times 2, that's $24.
And you don't go to a comedy show by yourself. You go with other people. You go with a group of people.
So if there's any advice that I can give to, if you're in your local scene and you have an A club anywhere around you, and you're like, they won't book me as the host, they won't book me as the feature. I'm going to tell you something right now. Every booker, every manager has access to your local scene, and they see what you're doing, and they won't like your post. That's conflict of interest. Why am I going to do that? I don't like your post. They don't like famous people's posts, the managers of the clubs. You think they're going to like your dumbass post about your little fucking bar show that does nothing for their club? In fact, your bar show that you have on Friday night takes away business from my comedy club that's down the street. So in fact, I don't like your show, okay? Because they could be at my club, but instead you're finagling them to going to a bar where there's a fucking blender going off every fucking 5 minutes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And then when me as the comedy club manager puts an advertisement out for those same people, they go, last time I went to a comedy show, it was this fucking like bar and tequila place, and it was a disaster. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm not gonna go to the club. Fuck that. It's probably cost like $150. I went there for free and it was terrible. So you have to think about this. You have to think about this. And
oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, but also though, when people fucking put these fucking shows together, even like at a bar, right? Like they don't even want to do the best show. They want to do the best friend show and put all the shitty open micer friends up there. So like when somebody does decide to go to a comedy show and they go to this comedy show, they're like, you know what? I don't want to ever go to another comedy show again. It's just going to be a bunch of fucking drunk or fucked up, depressed assholes that aren't even funny. So then like, again, going back to like it because it's funny because sometimes it's like it feels like, oh shit, I'm not deserving of this great thing. But then you're just like, wait a minute, yes, the fuck I am. I work my ass off for this shit. But then like you're just like, fuck man, so did other people. Other people just like didn't get this far. And you're just like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is what I always tell comics. Treat it. If you've ever been to a comedy club, absolutely, does somebody just go, yeah, walk in, sit where you want? No, you get greeted. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Thank you for getting tickets. Hey, how many in your party? 3? Fantastic. We seat from front to back, okay? And I know if it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, we'll put you a little bit behind. We won't put you up front. But for a better show, we seat front to back. And if you are going to a venue where the owner of the venue goes, you can't move chairs and tables, don't do a fucking show there, because it's not going to be good for comedy.
Right.
Okay? You're
Preach.
just shitting on the whole experience. Okay. Now, if you can work with the owner to be like, yo, can I bring in extra chairs, bring them up close to the stage, bring them around, create an environment, get a spotlight, put the money and the effort into it. If people got tickets on Eventbrite, okay, show me your ticket. Put a fucking wristband on them. How much does it cost to buy a pack of 100 wristbands or 500 wristbands? Cost $10. Invest in that shit. Stop buying fucking weed. Okay, stop wasting your time. All right, because it's not gonna happen. Okay, no one's that funny anymore. Everybody's funny. In fact, I could go on TikTok right now and find 30 people that are funnier than you right now. They're gonna make me laugh, and they're not even comedians. Okay, because they made a stupid video. So don't tell me that your high art form, that you're putting it all into that, okay? Because these days you got to be a little bit of everything. You got to be a video editor, you got to be a producer, you got to be a podcast. Go fucking learn Lightroom. Instead of jerking off and playing video games, go learn Lightroom. Go buy Photoshop. Go buy a video editor.
Yes.
Go buy equipment. Go buy this. Instead of sitting there and going, why did that guy get an opportunity? Well, I'll tell you 30 reasons why that guy got an opportunity before you, and I'll tell you that funny was the standard. He's just funny. Be undeniable, and then everything else happens. But if you do the little extra on top of being funny, because what people are afraid of is that they're like, oh, I'm going to be the not funny producer. For a while, yeah. But you know what you're getting right now? Stage time that they would never have.
Yeah.
You know, and so what I tell people is that if you get a show, all right, if you can't get booked, if this is, I'm all about opportunity. If the opportunity is someone else saying yes to me and you're not getting those yeses and you're getting frustrated, so this is what you do. Okay, I'll tell you what to do. This is a simple plan. In your local scene, if there's an A club there, if your A club isn't giving you any play, but they keep giving Johnson & Johnson his play and Malika her play, and everybody else that you're friends with is getting spots and stuff like that, but you're not, you know what you do? You know all these people, right, that are super funny, right? You're friends with them. Absolutely. You know them in the scene. You want to work with them. Produce a dope ass show. Get an Eventbrite account. Open up a Facebook and an Instagram account. Get a dope name for your show. Okay, that's what Fresh Drunk Stoned was. That's what the Fresh as Fuck Comedy Tour is. That's what Dope City Comedy Tour is. Now you see all these tours. 8 years ago when we started doing it, 5 years ago when we started doing this, this didn't exist. It didn't exist. And now all these people are doing this shit. Right. And they're calling them their little tours and stuff like that. It's stage time for everybody. So this is what you do, right? So you start when you produce a show. Get an Eventbrite account. Learn how to market. Link your Eventbrite account to Facebook marketing ads. Go on Facebook ads. Learn that Facebook ad method and how to market to people. There's somebody in your scene that's already doing this and they know how to do it. Or they work with Facebook marketing at their job and they have the skill. And you're a funny comic and you do this for 8 hours a day where you get paid to do it. But for your art and the love that you have, you don't do it for that. So there's a bunch of skills that you have outside of comedy that work in show business. And this is what people don't realize, is that a lot of the skill sets that you've acquired, whether it's being a teacher, whether it's being a waiter, whether it's being a bartender, whether it's working in marketing, that shit all helps you in this. Me being a waiter for years, learned when I started my first room, a year into stand-up comedy, we treated it like it was the Improv with Matt Bella, who I ended up touring with years later. We treated it like an Improv. You got a fucking wristband. We sat you front to back. You know what I'm saying? It was a tight show if it was only 50 people. But then what started to happen? I started hosting my own show. I started getting more gigs. You know what I mean? Not because they wanted to be on my show, because they were like, the other bookers in the local scene were like, oh, I heard you run a great show. It gets around. Nobody is going, I went to this great, horrible show. Like, it was terrible, and bragging about it. You know what I mean? Like, we all talk. So produce a good show, learn how to market, build an email list. An email list is so fucking important. It's what the comedy clubs do. What we basically did is we took the model of the comedy clubs and put it towards our tour. They're in the business, comedy clubs are in the business of collecting emails. Why? That's why they have you fill out that comment card. Why? Because if you fill out that email card, I can email you later when shows are light and there's only 50 tickets sold on a late night Friday show. I can email blast you and be like, hey, you want to come back? You get some free tickets and we make money, packed room, comedians happy, I'm happy, we're all happy, we all make money. Yeah, okay.
That's what's up.
There is no funny. I'm going to tell you this right now. Funny is the standard. I always tell people this. Everybody's funny when you're working with bookers and comedy clubs. If you can do something a little bit different and bring people out, whether it's a paid ticket or a free ticket, that's the valuable information that I'm telling you right now. Learn how to give away free tickets. And remember I told you about Marvin Dixon earlier? We're going to wrap this up right now into a full circle. So when we started touring, we started doing the free tickets on Eventbrite. And that changed everything because we didn't rely on them going to the website. And what Eventbrite does is that when you get a ticket, whether it's free or paid, you get their email. And you can email them for future shows. So no matter, you're not losing money, dumb. You're not losing money. You put $50 on a show with the right demographics and the right age range, 21 to 45, okay, with that age range, okay, and you put things that you like, people that you know like comedy, fucking Joe Rogan podcast, those are your demographics, these people, and Facebook is smarter than you. And here's the thing, it's gonna learn the more you use that account. A lot of people start working in these accounts, and then they go, oh, I'm paying $1 a click, $2 a click. It's learning, stupid. It's learning. The next time you run an ad, it's going to run it better and you're going to pay less money because it's learned the way your audiences work. So every time you run an ad, like right now, I'm paying 4 cents a click. 4 cents a click. And here's the thing, whether they come to the show or not, I have your email. I will email you the next time I come back to this city or this town or in your local show, a future show. Hey, you couldn't make it this month. I'll get you next month. You couldn't make it next month. I'll get you on the 4th month. That's what comedy clubs do. So like, instead of sitting here, and then what's going to happen if you start running a great show, you call it the Don't Tell Comedy Show, that you're running out of your house, or you're running out of a bar with a little dope side room where it's private and it's packed out and you got pictures to prove. And then on top of that, you have data. I gave away 1,000 tickets and 200 people showed up.
Still a lot of people.
You can go to, okay, so listen to this. Remember Marvin Dixon? Those 400 people that would show up and be outside of the club? So Matt Bellick used to work at the corporate offices. And I asked him one day, I go, let me ask you a question. This is years later, after I've seen all that Marvin Dixon shit. I put 2 and 2 together and I went, wait, how is Marvin Dixon, who's not famous, getting people out to come to his show like that every other week? So I asked Matt, I was like, Matt, what do they do in the corporate offices? Well, I'll tell you the little secret. I'll give you the number right now. All right. This is it's all numbers. What I told you has nothing to do with being funny. Be funny. That's your goal all day. Now learn the shit that I just told you, you're unstoppable. All right, so check this out. So 1,200, so check this out. So this is what Matt told me. Matt told me, he goes, the number is 20%. We call 1,200, we call 600 people. We call 800 people. You want tickets to the Improv? You want tickets to the Improv? You want tickets? From that email list that they've amassed over the years, they have an urban list, they have a Hispanic list, and they have a white people list. I'll tell you right now, as much as you want to think, oh, they're so progressive. It's business, baby. I'm going to tell you something right now. Get your little feelings out of here, because if you think you're not getting booked because you're a gay trans comic, no, you're not getting booked because you're not funny, okay? You don't know how to get people to come out to your show, okay? It has nothing to do with your sexuality or anything like that. Funny is funny, dog.
Absolutely.
Funny is funny all day. Funny is funny. I'll have a gay, trans, I don't care what you are. Do you kill? You're on my show. I don't care. You funny, dog. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're funny, it's funny. So it's like and as much as like, and I do know that there is discrimination and stuff like that. But data, any marketer will tell you this. Data has no race.
Yeah.
It's just data. It's just data. Okay. So I'll give you an example. So for instance, he goes, we hit up the urban list and we call them up. Y'all want free tickets to the Marvin Dixon show? Oh, I love Marvin Dixon. Hell yeah, give me free tickets. So they give away 1,200 tickets and 400 people show up.
Jesus. What's the capacity, by the way?
350. So what does that tell you?
Ooh,
what does that tell you?
So they're turning people away, and that's high demand. Okay, so yeah, he's doing it right. Okay, cool. Because I got it.
No. Here's the thing. He's not doing anything. The Improv is doing everything. Okay. Wow. But here's the thing. They know that if they give away, so this is what it tells you. If I give away, right? I'll give you an example, like right now. All right. I have a guest list for my show at Richmond. Okay. In the Richmond Funny Bone in the next month. So I'll give you an example. I have 580 tickets that I've given away, free tickets, 580. What I know based on those numbers, right? 20%, 18% is your number. Out of 100 tickets that you give away, 20 people are going to show up. 18 to 20 people are going to show up. So if you put an ad out, free tickets to my local show right here in town at your favorite bar, it's run great. It's a great produced show. These people are going to come back. And then eventually what you can do is you can sell them tickets. The show is so hot. We've stopped giving away tickets. And now you have this email list of people that have come to your show and they'll go, yeah, I'll pay $5 to come out there. I'll pay $5 to go watch that show. And there's no 2-drink minimum or anything like that. I'll pay $5. Do you see the business? Do you see the model?
Yeah.
Like what I'm working with here? So instead of sitting there and literally going, I'm not getting booked out of the 52 weeks out of the year. There's only 52 weeks, bitch. And you can't get all of them. And if you have local guys that have relationships that have worked with these headliners, you're not going to get booked. Now that 52 weeks of you wanting to host your feature at your local club has turned into 8 weeks out of the whole year. So you're fighting for 8 weeks. Instead, produce your own show outside of that club, right? And you can confidently walk up to that manager of that club when you've been producing a show for 6 months to a year where 50 to 100 people have come out.
Yeah.
And you go, hey, this is how much money the bar's making during my show for 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is how many people have been coming out. These are the numbers. This is how many tickets I've sold. Now slap your Don't Tell comedy show with an Improv or a Funny Bone on top of there. Be like, the Don't Tell comedy show, and you email those people, we've moved up. We're at the club, baby. Tickets are $10. Come out to see the show. You get first dibs. Pre-sale starts now. Boom. Buy them on Eventbrite.
Dude. Yeah, man. Like, to be honest with you, dude, like, you gave out so much fucking game right now. I feel like we need to put a fucking link right here and like fucking people need to give you money for this because like this was so much game. Bro, I didn't say a fucking single word. Me, okay. Dude.
Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions?
I was looking absolutely. Okay, so me and my friend, we went to go do the open mic at the Improv, Hollywood Improv. You know, they have the process there where it's like a lottery open mic, and if you do good, then you have a callback and blah blah. That's how you get in, right? If you don't have a way in, you know,
ask if they can,
you know, do a recommendation for me. But like, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to do it on my own. But like, it's really, I don't know. It's kind of demeaning because like. You get already like, yeah, I'm about to go up. I did my hair. I fucking did my clothes. I did all my shit. And it's just like, I'm not going up because they didn't pick my fucking name out of the bucket. And so it's just kind of like, fuck, I got all ready to do all this shit or whatever. So, but I told my homie, I was like, hey, we might not even go up. So let's go look for a venue, go do stand-up comedy. So, dude, we took not a wrong turn, but he looked up a venue that's no longer in existence. And we ended up, you know, this, some part outside of Hollywood. It's like close to Hollywood and this beautiful theater. And it was like, I think it's like a 4,500 seat theater. And we weren't looking for something that big. We're looking at more like 500, 800 seater. And like, we're like thinking about like, fuck, I wonder if we could like sell this out though. Like, you know, because these are like but there's like one theater like it's like 4,500 seats, and there's another theater that's 2,500 seats, and there's another one that's 1,700 seats, and then there's another one. But I mean, it's all one chain of theaters, not comedy clubs. But it's just like I told my friend Keith, I was like, bro, if we could start shows here, like this would be like life-changing opportunities for us, man. I mean, not just to perform, but I mean to make meaningful money and to.
Would you like my advice? Would you like my advice
yeah.
as far as like dream big, dream big? Here's your problem with theaters. Okay, the problem with theaters is that you're gonna have to rent them. You're gonna have to pay a lot of money up front. There's a lot of not hidden costs, but it's like the curtain guy, the sound guy, this guy. Do you need a microphone? That's an extra $100. You need a wireless mic. That's an extra $200. Like it starts to add up, and then what happens is that they're gonna take a cut of ticket sales and all that stuff. So like my advice to you is low overhead.
Yeah.
There's coffee shops. There's small improv theaters like that get no play and stuff like that. That if they get 20 people to come out to their Friday night improv show, it's great. Go in there and be like, hey, listen, I know how to get people to come out. You know what I mean? Like, and here's the thing is that you think it's hard to sell a ticket. Like it's easier to give away a ticket. It's hard to sell a ticket. It's fucking hard. Like, and so like you're talking about like selling to like, obviously if you have like, you know, if you call it like, you know, the only way I could see the theater thing working with you is being like Victor Pacheco, you know, and the Papicock Podcast present, you know, Pablo Francisco and so, but then you're paying money. It's a lot of overhead.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've thought about all these things. You know what I mean? I think the best thing you can do is to find a place. Listen, this is the business model when you go to look for a venue and stuff like that. You go, hey, I really like your establishment. And you have to realize this. And this is what my buddy Nadeem realized. Okay. If there's a music venue in your town, you know how much they're paying that band to play? $800, $600, $500, $400 for a single guy with a guitar to play for fucking 3-4 hours. Okay. That's what it costs. Jeez. But your comedy show, and this is where comedians fuck up, it's like, but your comedy show that's actually going to bring people, they're going to sit down and buy drinks. We're going to give you $100. No, you're not. Because I know what you pay that musician. So you can walk into a bar and go, look at that guy sitting in the corner. He didn't bring anybody. In fact, people are going, ugh, that thing's awful. And they're leaving. Okay. But you're paying him $400. And here's the thing, entertainment costs for a restaurant at the end of the year cost them nothing. It's a tax write-off.
Oh my God.
So you tell them, you walk into a business and you go, hey, listen, what's your slowest night? What's your slowest night? My slowest night is Tuesday or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right? Let's just say for the sake of argument, Sunday.
Right.
What are your sales on Sunday after 8 p.m.? I don't know, maybe like $500, maybe like $300 in sales. Like, and then we close at 10, 10:30. You know what I mean? It's dead. It's closed. All right. So check this out. What if I told you I could bring more in sales in right now on that day, on Sunday, all right, than what you have? And what you pay me doesn't cost you anything. And they're going to go, it doesn't cost me anything. You give me a business check, like you give to your accounts where you buy food and drinks and stuff like that. You give me a business check, you can write that off at the end of the year as an entertainment cost to me. Okay. Oh, so I cost you nothing, but I'm bringing you in money. You said when you put your tickets up, you put up a 2-drink minimum. Hey, or a 1-drink minimum. Support the venue. Yeah. They're gonna buy another drink. No one just drinks 1 drink.
Yeah, no one drinks 1 drink. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then eventually I'm gonna get hungry if I'm having a good time. You know what I mean? So then he's gonna make money, and then you go, hey, the first one I charge $400. The second one is $700, $800, because I need a budget to pay my comedian.
Right.
And it costs you nothing. You put tickets on Eventbrite, you link it to Facebook, you run an ad through Facebook Ads Manager. Okay, the step-by-step process. Run a Facebook through Ads Manager. Get a really dope name for your show. Like Don't Tell Comedy. Look at the venue. Does it look like a speakeasy? The Prohibition Comedy Show, uncensored.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it because, dude, you got great ideas, and also, dude, very creative, very positive, very inspirational, man. Because, like, honestly, dude, like, I'm motivated right now to fucking go look for venue now, based on what you're telling me. Because, like,
all talented. You're all talented. You have, even if you're not the funniest comedian in your community, but you have these skills. You just heard what I said, and and you went. I want to be funny, but I'm not getting booked on my local shows. Start the dopest show in town, and every dope comedian in town is going to want to work with you. And then you're going to get stage time with them, okay? And you're going to get your own stage time. Also, this show that I'm talking about, this hypothetical Prohibition comedy show that you're running out of Speakeasy, you're going to run it once a month, not twice a month, not 3 times a month, once a month.
Yeah.
So that you put all your efforts into that show. And then you can go, you run that show for 6 to 8 months, and you're bringing in numbers. You're making some cash. You know what I mean? And then you start selling tickets because of this email list. You're like, you know what? We're doing booths. We're selling upfront tables for $10. You know what I'm saying? And you put it there with the Eventbrite, call for a reservation, blah, 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 this and that. Now you're selling tickets and giving away tickets. You're running your own little club with no cost outside of a comedy club. And you think that the comedy club that's the 5-10 mile radius around you isn't going to look at you and go, I want some money. I want some of that money, because you're making money on the night that I'm open too. And we combine our monies, we're going to be fine. Let's make money. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. These companies, I'm going to tell you this right now. Dude. Nobody that's ever booked me has ever seen my app before they booked me.
Wow.
Listen to what the fuck I just said out loud.
Yeah.
Because the assumption is, in their eyes, if you're funny, people come out.
Right. So they're coming out.
And then what happens? Yeah. And then what happens? Listen. So then what happens when the comedy club is busy, right? When the comedy club is fucking busy, right? And it's jumping and popping on a Sunday night because your Prohibition comedy show is now at the Improv. Guess what? That manager didn't believe you that you were going to bring out all these people, and you brought them out. So now that manager that was going to sit in his office doing paperwork has to get on the line and run food. Okay. And then he doesn't know how the show's going. So how does he find out that it was a good show? How does the manager of that club go, we need to book this guy again? The numbers don't lie. What did we sell? I didn't leave the window until the show was over. 20 minutes before the show was over. I was busy the whole time. So then what the club manager does is that they go, every time a server comes and drops off a cash out report, their report at the end of the night with all their credit cards and their money, they go, how was the show? Did your group of people, like the people that you were sitting with, that were sat in your section, and they liked the show? Oh, they fucking loved it. He was really funny. She was really funny. They were really funny. Them was really funny.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's how they know. I'm telling you, no one's ever seen my act. No one's ever seen my act. They've never said, when I sent an email saying, hey, this comedy club, would you be interested in hosting the Fresh Drunk Stone comedy tour? You know, we've done all these other clubs. Here are the numbers. Here's some pictures. Here's video evidence. Yeah. Can you forward this to the talent coordinator? Also, a little secret. a little secret. Okay, I'm gonna tell you another little secret. A little tiny secret.
Yeah, sure.
They're not called bookers. Don't insult them.
Talent coordinators. What's a booker, bro? A booker sounds like a sleazy motherfucker. What the fuck
is a booker? Yeah, what's a booker? Yeah.
I'm gonna book you right now.
So when you send an email,
right?
I'm gonna tell you another. I'm gonna tell you another little secret. You know where it says info on every comedy club page website.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wink, wink. Everyone reads those emails.
Wow.
So if you send the right email with the numbers, so you have your little Prohibition comedy show. It's been successful for 6 to 8 months. And you send an email to your local comedy club and you go at that info, you want to get in touch with the booker, the guy that's untouchable. Guess what? When people complain, they go to that website and they click on that email. So they read all those emails because it's a complaint. God. The last time I was there, the server was a dick to me, said I had to buy 2 drinks and blah, blah, blah. They have to read all of those because it's their business. Okay. So then, and the manager of your club doesn't book. There's a person above that.
Right.
Okay. So then they forward that to them and they go, hey, so at the top you put Prohibition comedy show in the subject. Prohibition comedy show, forward to attention talent coordinator. And then in the email, you put your numbers. You say, hey, my name is Victor Pacheco. I've been running this show for the last 6 to 8 months. I've been really successful. These are my numbers based on paid tickets and guest lists. I get 150 people to come out to my show every single week or every single month. And I would love the opportunity to try to get into your club and like do my show there, and blah, 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 and like all this stuff. And guess what? They're going to respond and they're going to go because they don't talk funny. They talk money.
Yes, dude, you have motivated me in ways you have no idea. I'm going to tell you off the record later. Oh, no, not only me. Like, I'm very proud of all my episodes of Papicock Podcast. And to be honest with you, though, this one was dude, thank you for being on it. I'm beyond fucking like enlightened and blessed and just like, okay, listen. So if nobody listens to my podcast, that would be the biggest fucking sin, especially this episode, because this episode covered so much about the business aspect of why the fuck is he sharing this with everybody? You should be telling me this in private. But listen, you know what? Whoever listens to this deserves to fucking hear it. And to be honest with you, all the fucking inspiration and motivation that you just gave right now, you didn't even know that you just gave a TED Talk, but you gave a TED Talk on how to get in to fucking venues, even like if you're funny, which is the standard. And you know what? To be honest with you, man, like I have never been more confident in my life with what the fuck I'm about to pitch to this comedy club that's local to me. And to be honest with you, it will get me in there. And to be honest with you,
stop being selfish, guys. Stop being selfish with information, because the more comedians that are doing great, the better it is for our art form.
I'll say it then. I'll say it. No, I'll just say it then. I'm gonna pitch a Spanish show. I'm gonna pitch a Spanish show, and I'm gonna get some badass. I don't give a fuck if you're white, black, Latino, doesn't matter. If you speak Spanish, you can be funny in Spanish, then you know what I mean? There's going to be great, because there's no fucking straight up Spanish shows. There's bilingual, there's Spanglish, pero solamente español, not so much.
That's what I'm saying. Find a market.
No, but dude, I had the perfect fucking show that I had, but then the pandemic canceled it, but it was called Azteca Manteca. And it was a show absolutely in Spanish, like 100%, like puro español.
Do it again.
Right?
It's a
great
name.
I gotta pitch it, but I'm gonna pitch it over here because I think you could do like 60 seats right here at the Hollywood Improv at the Lab. So I can get that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the Lab is brutal, dog.
I know. Brutal. I performed.
That's where comics go to die, dog.
No. Hey, trust. I have had
awful sense. I bombed at the Lab, dog. Listen, in front of the booker. By the way, in front of the
Rita,
booker that booked San Jose, dog. Yes. Tim. Luckily, Tim did good in like one show, and she goes, "Who are you guys?" And then she stopped him and went, "You guys are Fresh Drunk Stoned, are you?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's us." And she goes, "Hey, let me get your email and stuff like that." And that's how we got in with Oxnard and like San Jose.
Yeah. No, that's
Rita.
Nice. And yeah, Rita's hell of a sweet person. And dude, you know, it's funny. She's got the most amazing cackle. And she, like, I swear to God, she
sits in the back with her notepad.
She's taking fucking notes out. That's not intimidating. You know,
no, dude, but don't, man. Just
no. I always try to do my best, but what was fucked up was that, like, I was like, emotionally invested in going up on Tuesday, and then it didn't happen. So it was just kind of like I felt kind of like, not upset, but just kind of like sad. But then we went to go look for venues, and so we found these theaters. But like, I'm gonna go try, and I'm gonna go do what I need to do to get the next level going for myself. And you know what?
Listen, I'm not, and I tell people this all the time. It may come off arrogant, it may come off like whatever, but I really genuinely, at the bottom of my heart, I want all of y'all to win. I want all of us to win. I want all of us to do great.
That's
you know what
selfless.
I mean? Like I want,
that's awesome.
And yeah,
that's
and
beautiful.
like that's why I give back. You know what I mean? Like I give back, like the position that I'm in now. I give people opportunities. Come with me on the road. You know what I mean? Like it's fine because like I know that maybe this may not happen at another level or whatever, or it may for you, or this may inspire you to be like, yo, if this dumbass piece of shit did it,
oh, get the fuck out of here.
No. Like the story that you don't know is that I was a drug addict. I was a piece of shit. I was at the time when I started first.
Was
and like
keyword
and like now, yeah, and like now, but I will tell you is that like, but that should just to me that should inspire you. Should be like, yo, if this drug addict kid did it, you know what I'm saying, with just a fucking dream and a fucking dollar, bitch, and a couple of good friends, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like I went out there and fucking did it, and like we toured the whole country.
Right.
We went
that
everywhere.
Was impressive. I loved
and it's
it.
Like,
I loved watching your success. That was cool.
Yeah.
And then you
like,
guys were all
like,
good guys. That was the best part. I was like, when you see somebody who doesn't deserve it, you're just like,
yeah,
what the fuck am I doing wrong? And then like with you guys, I was just like, fuck yeah, those guys are cool as fuck. Those guys are my homies. I hope those guys fucking continue having shows, whether they book me or not. They were cool people.
Man.
They need to share the love with other people too. Be cool. Like, the type of love that like you guys gave to me, being like just as brand new, like individuals, like you guys were like, okay, we need a host. And I was like, cool, that worked out for me. Because if not, I would have never met you. And you're a classy dude. You're a class act.
Thank you, man.
Personally, I gotta say though, like Franco, he did reach out when I did put something up about losing weight, and he was very genuine. He did give me a lot of strategies. He gave me a lot of resources, and so and then that I could reach out whenever if I need assistance. And I was just like, listen, you're not just my comedy brother. You're my brother now. So like that.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? And this is the bond. You know what's so funny? This is the bond that I love about comedy. I met you once.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we've just kept in touch through like Facebook over the pandemic and all that stuff. Checked up on you. Everything's good. Like I've seen you move from like San Jose down to LA and stuff like that with your wife and stuff like that. And it's like, and you're doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like I want and at the end of the day, it's like, I tell people, and I feel like people are scared, and it's like hey, I'm an open book, man. If you want to know, what we make, how we make money, how it happens, because knowledge is power, dude. Because we sit here and we harbor these things and be like, oh no, I did it in a special way. And it's like, nah, this shit could be replicated, dude. Like this shit could be for all of us. And like, let's not
just made it for all of us, bro. And you are making it for all of us. And guess what? I'm going to share it. And I'm going to fucking talk about how you gave the truth and an actual business model about how to go about making money and actually, compiling an email list. And you know what? It involves work. And guess what? A lot of times it isn't that comics aren't smart. It's just that they're just lazy. We're lazy.
And
or entitled.
Yeah, I'm going to finish this podcast right now. You know what I'm going to go do right now? Just to go show people like what I'm about to go do. I'm about to go. I have 2 shows, one in Richmond, Virginia at the Funny Bone, and I have another one at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone. They're an hour and a half from each other. I'm flying up there. I'm going to do Richmond first, and I'm doing Virginia Beach on June 22nd and June 23rd. And that's a Wednesday and a Thursday. If you want to get here, and a lot of the times we look at the Joe Rogans, we look at the Burt Kreischers, we look at the Tom Segura's, and we go, damn, that's not possible. What I can tell you right now, what I'm doing is very possible. And I gave you the roadmap. Like the roadmap is there. Start a show in your local town, have it be hot, learn how to market at low risk. Because if you go to the club with lying and fake ideas, they're never going to book you again. Okay. You need to show them you can fuck. Okay. And then after you show them that you can fuck one time, you have to show them again. because the first time could have been a fluke. You brought all your friends, blah, blah, blah. Do it again. I'm going to tell you this right now. Hollywood comes in second. Show business comes in second. Prove this is the new model. It's not, the old model used to be, you got talent, come to Hollywood, we'll make you a star. That's the old model. The new model is prove you have talent, prove you're a star, prove something, do something without me. And then show business will take you to the top of the mountain. But they will not take you to the top. And if you can, and the other path, the path that wasn't there before, is if you can get to the people and sidestep show business, that's the other path. Is that if you get enough followers, you get enough influence online, the clubs will book you because you have the numbers. It's a numbers game. Yeah. It's not a talent game. That's why Kevin Hart is not in your top 5 dead or alive. He will never be in your top 5. But you know what he is? What? The most famous and the most known comedian in the history of comedy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Jesus.
He's not the best comedian. He's not the funniest comedian. He's not the most prolific. He's not the genius.
Right.
He is the most well-known comedian ever in the history of comedy. And you go, he doesn't deserve it, while you sit at an open mic and go, he doesn't deserve it.
Oh, that's not
fuck
me.
Off.
He
does deserve it. You know why?
He definitely does.
Because anybody tells you he's the hardest, because he realized, he goes, it's not talent. I'm talented. I'm funny. Kevin Hart's been funny since day one. There's a video of him at an open mic in Philly, basically doing what he does today. The same style, the same, but a little bit like smaller and stuff like that. You can kind of see it's a little bit rougher.
Yeah.
But it's the same Kevin Hart. He's always had it. But then he went out there and was like, I got this. Let me learn how to act. Let me learn how to do this. Let me learn how to run a business. Let me learn how to do this. Let me learn how to do that. And that's how he got where he got, you know? Now there's the Joe Rogans, and Joe Rogan learned how to act. Was an actor before he was Joe Rogan, the podcaster, and got a lot of money from news radio. Then he got on Fear Factor. He was a host of a show. I met him through Fear Factor. I didn't even know he was a comedian until I started doing comedy. And I was like, oh shit, this fuck does comedy? And look at that. You know what I mean? And it's
small world.
Like that,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, and that's a form of fame. You know what I mean? So it's like, give yourself the opportunity. Stop looking around at the comics that are getting opportunities. You know what I mean? And look at what you can do with what the resources that you have, and take a lot of risks when nobody's watching right now. You know what I'm saying? If you go to your local club and you do let's say you skip everything I just told you, and you go, I'm just going to lie and email them, you're never going to get booked with them again.
Right.
And then you're going to have to move to another town and then start all over again and stuff like that. So people can believe you. You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, be funny, be the funniest in your town, in your city, try to be the funniest, be undeniable, be that. But then also learn these other little things, and you're fucking unstoppable, dog. You're unstoppable in this shit. And the thing is, you learn it, you amass an email list, you amass a fan base, you amass people that get to know you, that get to know your show. You say hi to them every show that they come to. Hey, John, what's going on? Hey, how's the kids? Blah, blah, blah. Then that builds relationships so that when you're at the Improv, they go, I knew that motherfucker when he was doing fucking bar shows. Of course I'm going to go support him at the Improv. I went to his bar show. He's way better now. And he's bringing all these funny other people. And you have these people in your community that are talented and that are funny and that maybe can't do what you do and know how to produce a show. But they'll do your show and make you look good and give you free stage time and learn how to host a show and learn how to run a show. All these things are valuable to where when I ran my own local show, invaluable to when I go to the clubs. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a small example. I go to the Tempe Improv, right? And they didn't believe that I was going to bring 300 people. It was my first time back, not as fresh drunk stoned, but as fresh as fuck. So the manager didn't bring enough waiters, okay? So he lets me know that he doesn't have enough staff, okay? So I tell him, I've worked in restaurants. This is where I tell you my experience in my life has helped me. This is just a restaurant. I know that when someone sits down and those lights come on and a waiter hasn't been to them, they're not paying attention to the show. And it's going to be a bad show because the waiter hasn't come up. And by the time you're 10 minutes into your set and you're closing out as the host, you're getting your first couple of laughs and you're going, I suck. And it's like, no, the room wasn't prepared for that. So I walked up to the manager and I go, hey, Chad, at the 10 p.m. Improv, I go, Chad, I was like, hey, listen, I see that you're a little short staffed. You let me know. Is there anything I can do on the front end or the back end with time? Okay. And he goes, I was like, let's start at 8:15. And I go, perfect. We'll start at 8:15. That's why I came to talk to you. And he goes to me, thank you so much. A lot of headliners don't allow me to do this shit. He goes, all right, cool. He goes, I go, cool. So, and then I told him, if you need time on the back end to drop checks and get people checked out, let me know. All right, let me know. I'm about to go on stage 3 minutes before I'm about to go on stage. He burst into the green room and he goes, can you do like 15 more minutes? I got you. I told you. I got you. Do an extra 15 minutes. I ended up doing like 55 minutes or some shit like that, an extra 10, 15 minutes. Got off stage. You know what I'm saying? I did like 57 minutes or something like that. Got off stage. Everyone got checked out. Everyone was super happy. Without my experience of running my own shows and knowing that, I wouldn't have been able to accommodate him. And him at the end of the night, when he hands me my check and goes, thank you so much for being understanding and like working with me and blah, blah, blah. And I go, I'll go bust a table if you need me to. I'm the headliner in between shows when I was in Texas at Hyenas that was busting tables with the servers because there were people waiting outside for the second show and they were low staffed or whatever. Not low staffed, but they were just like, they just needed help. Guess what? I wiped down tables and I bust tables. You know why? Because I'm not pretentious. I'm not above this. I am a hop, skip, and a jump from going back to doing that shit. Okay. Right. And I'm very aware of that.
I mean, that's just you being very humble. I mean, you are a very hilarious comedian, and I got to give credit's due because, like, not only that, you're a very successful producer, and like, you know, just that winning hand. Really, like I mentioned this earlier, like in jest, but you really should be a prick. And like, like a fucking prick. Like to the point
I'm trying to be good.
This is my information. No, you're not even trying. You're being genuinely great, and I do appreciate you, and I appreciate your time. And like, you know, with the Mexican goodbyes, like I'm gonna keep you here for 3 hours, and I want to be respectful of your time. And so I want to ask you this last question.
I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie.
I've been having a great time too. And what's fucked up is that, like, you know, anyone that doesn't like listen to this, they're really losing out because, like, really, you just offered a blueprint to make money. As there could be people listening who aren't even stand-up comedians that take this idea, run with it, and become successful producers, and then you have all these depressed comedians kissing their ass. But no.
I have two friends of mine, and I'll tell you this: I have two friends of mine who couldn't do the improv, couldn't get it. We have 3 clubs here in South Florida. We have the Miami Beach, we have the Miami Improv, the Dania Beach Improv, and the West. 8 clubs, 3. And he couldn't get booked. And you know what he did? He started his own shows and realized he's the one that realized that they pay bands like $800 for 4 hours and they make no money off of them. Okay. And he goes, but I'm bringing people for 2 hours and you're not going to give me $500, $600. Stop getting fucked by these guys. Okay. It's zero cost to them. Entertainment cost in a venue is 0 cost to them at the end of the year, as long as it's on a check from their business. And they know that. And when you tell them that, they're going to go talk to their accountant and they're going to go, actually, they're right. You could spend 20 grand on, and you'll get 20 grand back. Like it's a write-off, like, because it's entertainment for your business. It's like having music running for your stereo. If you have a stereo in your business that you paid for, you write that bitch off. You know what I'm saying? Because I needed to play music while it's in my restaurant. So it's like, guys, stop selling yourself short. Pay your comedians. Pay the comics that are on your show, even if it's $20. I had a comic the other day give me $20 and a little scratch-off ticket in an envelope. I was the happiest comedian ever. Okay, like I drove an hour plus to go to this show. I was so angry, and then he gave me this $20 after my spot with a little envelope with my name on it, and a little note that said, "Hey, thanks for coming out to the show. I appreciate you driving here." And guess what? I will do that kid's show whenever. I don't care how much he asked me to drive. I don't care if I lose money every show, okay? But I'll do that kid's show because of that little nice gesture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just.
What's your question?
Oh no! My last question was, where can the people at home find you?
Oh, on Instagram, ITS Franco Harris. On Instagram, Facebook, it's Franco Harris. ITS Franco Harris. I thought it was cute. And when I created my Instagram, and I'm like, when people ask me what's your Instagram, I'll be like, it's Franco Harris, and they just go, what? Everybody goes, what? And I go, ITS, it's Franco Harris.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny. Yo, that's a mind fuck right there. Like if I was on LSD, there's no way we'd get through this conversation. I mean, just that part of the conversation of the it's Franco Harris. But yeah. So check out It's Franco Harris on all social media and
YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, seriously, follow him. Go to his shows. He's a fucking excellent entertainer. He's a hands down like really great guy, and honestly, excellent businessman. You can't say that about every comic, regardless of how talented they are. Because there's some super talented fucking comedians that are horrible businessmen, horrible businesswomen. They're horrible. It's just they don't have the business sense. But you know what? You got it, sir. And also too, like really, man, like you got the whole package going on. And that's why I wanted you on the show. And I had no idea that we were going to be blessed with this much information as to how to make money on the show. I just wanted you on the show to talk shop. And you didn't just talk shop, my brother. You talked church. And so that was beyond expectations. So I want to thank you so much for joining me here at Papicock Podcast for episode 12. We want everyone to please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere.
Fresh as Fuck Comedy Tour.
Go to Fresh as Fuck Comedy Tour, wherever this is. I don't care where you live. If you live in the United States, they will be in a city near you.
I will be there.
Go check them out. Go check out Franco Harris. He's very funny. And if you're deaf, he's a sexy motherfucker. So either way, you will be happy. So I love this guy a lot. He's very awesome. You're gonna love him too, even more than you did on today's episode. He's a great guy. He's down to earth. And thank you again so much for doing the show. And thank you. And we'll have you back soon if you want to come back. But I know you're busy, so no hard feelings. But like, yeah, brother, I love you, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, brother. Check us out.
No problem.
All right, man. Late.